Perfect.
There we go.
All right, let's start officially now. Yeah.
All right. So, Yuliku, we really want to welcome you to our show, which is What's Your Sankalp? This is another episode with your hosts, Maunika and Sankalp.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. It's my honor to be in your show.
To begin with, I would like to tell you the story of how I, bumped into your profile on social media and your work. So we had a little trip to the CN Tower, and during that trip, we noticed a little, a small desk right next to the tower, where we saw.
The question which asked, what is something that is unsaid that you wish to tell someone? And I remember we were like with family, we were vlogging our trip, and it's even on our YouTube now. And I asked Sankalp, I said, hey, is there anything unsaid? Because, as a married couple, I think there is very little that remains.
And I said, I've already said it. Like she said, I've already said it, which is, I love you. And so yeah, it was nice to see that. But I did not see the Instagram handle until later when we were looking at the video and we were actually trying to put that into our vlog that we put on our YouTube channel. So when I was trying to zoom in to see what exactly was written on the table, and then I saw the Instagram handle, and now we are here on a podcast conversation with you. So that's the.
How interesting.
All right, let's talk about you.
And firstly, I want to ask, how did you get this idea? How did you think of this, and when did it all start?
It's not an original idea. I think lots of people make videos about what's something you wish you had said, or what's something is similar to this sentence.
Right.
I just like this idea because I like people and I like unspoken feelings, unspoken thoughts. Also, I like the idea that it's anonymous, so people don't need to explain to another person. It's totally anonymous. They just need to let it out and then they can go. So it's not an original idea, but I change the question sometimes.
Yuliku, in today's world, almost every artist, whatever art form that they do, they have a title to, the work that they do, right? Do you think you have a title to the work that you do?
Maybe social arts. So it's free and then it's for everyone. And it's small, it pops up, maybe it pop up social art.
That's nice.
Like a mushroom. Boom. I love mushroom.
More social arts like this coming up, because we truly felt it was such a brilliant thing to do. And making that effort that you do to set up, bring your supplies, and then just leave it to the public, and anything can happen after that, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about the locations that you select. Do you have any thought process or planning behind where you want to put these stalls or ideas that you have?
So I think at the beginning, I wish I can go to somewhere that's busy, because in busy place, usually it's kind of boring that either you are going to catch a streetcar or you're just going to the subway, go to work. So there's not much going on. But I want to put something that in a busy routine that people can stop and think, oh, what's going on with myself? What's going on in my head? So I want to put it in somewhere that's busy.
You asked so many questions to the world out there, and some of them are, what are your deep-seated desires? What's something you wish girls or guys understood more? Do you have any favorites, any favorite questions that you have?
What do you wish? What's something you wish guys understood more?
Okay.
I think most people mention mood swing and periods.
Yeah.
So they mentioned that it's difficult for guys to understand how hurt it is, and then sometimes it affects the mood. So they just get upset or angry for no reason. And unfortunately, it happens regularly.
That is so true. Even when I was going through your questions and I saw the same one, and Sankalp asked the same question, and I said, well, it has to be like I feel like female bodies are such a miracle. You know, we go through so many things.
Yes.
Now recently having being pregnant, like having, you know, given birth to a baby, and
Yeah.
especially these physical changes is something that I wish men understood more. Or I know it's impossible, like, you know, something you haven't gone through yourself, it's difficult to understand it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's okay, but a little empathy and, you know, yeah, just trying to be supportive, that would really, I think, help women feel better.
Yeah. For the woman's one, I think it's very sweet. I think lots of guys just write, everyone is beautiful. Because you know, most women, they just worry about if they are getting fat, if they are getting the best makeup, if their hair is messy today. But I think some guys just wrote that doesn't matter your shape or your hair or your style, it's all beautiful. We all think you are beautiful.
So
Is
sweet.
that your favorite answer that you can think of to that question that you saw?
I think the most surprised one.
Okay.
The most surprised one, and because few people wrote this, so I found myself very surprised that people
That's
thought about writing that.
What about some other questions that you put out there? Uh, anything special that comes to your mind?
Like one moment that you really remember and, you know, became special to you.
Okay, so a few of the other questions are: can you tell a secret? That sounds really interesting. What kind of answers do you remember that were really interesting to you?
There's a lot of sad one and very dark secret,
Right.
but I would just tell you the most popular one. I'm not sure when people wrote that, do they realize that hundreds of other people wrote exactly the same one? I think the most true popular secret is the first one is I like my coworker.
Okay.
That is so
Yeah, I have a crush on my coworker. Another one is I still thinking about my ex.
Oh, okay.
I still in love with my ex.
Imagine two people working at the same office, saw Yuliku's setup and wrote the same thing.
Oh
That
yeah.
I don't know if there's some way you're actually. Do you think you're by the work that you do, you're manifesting things for people in a way that they don't know?
Like writing the story, I guess, in a
Yeah,
way.
because sometimes when you say something out in the world,
Yes.
that triggers a series of events, right? That will
Yeah.
lead to that action or not. So by writing down on that piece of paper, for example, like you said, I like that person. What if by writing that down, that person has started to,
Maybe go and express their feelings.
yeah.
I think that could happen. I think that's the point of this project for me. I think by finding your feelings or was something that has been buried, and then he help people to understand themselves more. So
Right.
actually, I haven't organized most of the notes yet, but I don't think that's the important part for me to organize them. I will organize it and share it to the world. I think the most important part is the people saw the poster and they think about what's going on with their life and then they think of something. I think that's the point of this project.
These are the beautiful moments that you've spoken about. But we couldn't help notice, seeing a few pictures where there have been instances of vandalism, people, breaking mirrors and, not respecting your art. If you could share how you felt about something that happened, and why do you think that someone would do that?
I actually met a person while he was like literally literally
Oh,
breaking everything and tearing everything, but he didn't know it was my table. So I just asked him like, "Hey, what's up? Like, what are you doing?" And then he just asked me if that's my table, and then I say yes. So he said he was trying to break all the notes because he thought the poster say was something you wish you say no to. He think it's a ritual to say no to something and actually break the notes.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I think it's a way to show the attitude that, okay, he's a pass. Let's move on.
Right,
But
right.
I guess people all have their reason. Or maybe
Yeah,
they are angry, or maybe they think they should do that.
right. Are you not scared when things like these happen to your artwork?
I think one time I was scared
Mm-hmm.
because there's a person, I didn't know he broke everything, but he broke everything. He was sitting there. I didn't know the person broke it. And then I was trying to pick up the glasses because the glasses was everywhere. And the moment I'm going to pick up the glasses, he asked me to back off. And then he says he's going to kill me. Then I think that, oh, maybe it's not a good idea to come near the table, but I didn't want to leave the glasses all over the place. I didn't want to leave the note there. So I was just standing there, I think 10 meters away. But that guy's got really angry. He
Right.
said he's going to kill me if I don't leave. So in that situation, I cannot get back my stuff. I just leave it.
Where do you get that positivity and courage to continue doing what you do,
yeah. How could you,
irrespective?
yeah, the next
Yeah,
day, you start afresh and you set up another project somewhere else. Like, how do you do that?
Sleep. I think sleep is the
yeah,
way. Like when you sleep and then you wake up, you say, "Oh, okay, doesn't matter, it's past." And then it's just another table, right? A table is just $20. When you think
right.
about it, it's not a lot of loss, but you feel sad that somebody sabotage your work. But in the end, if you don't hold on to that grief, it's just $20.
Another idea that was really interesting that you do is the mirror that you carry around around the city. I saw one of the pictures where you took it in a subway. I don't know if you put it as a pop-up inside the train or not, but tell us about that idea. How did it originate, and what were your expectations from it?
I think the idea was originated by a friend. I
Okay.
met a friend in Turkey, and then he's an artist who like to make jewelry from recycle. Oh,
Just a second, Yuliku. Could you please say that again? I feel like we're having an audio issue.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think your voice was breaking up a little. Can
how
we
about
try
now?
that?
Yes, now it's okay.
Now it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I met an artist in Turkey. I think he just worked as a barista in a coffee shop, but he recycle throw away cooking pot and teapot, and then he used the metal to make jewelry.
Okay.
He really like to make jewelry with mirror, so he made those little cute mirror from recycled cooking pot,
Wow.
and he polished it really well, so he looks like a really nice piece of jewelry.
Right. Right.
And he thinks that jewelry should have stories, and he think mirror can help you to reflect light, especially in the winter, into your heart.
Right.
So the mirror can be wear backward because the mirror is facing your heart. So you always have light to get inside your heart. Or you
Wow.
can wear the mirror facing the world. So you can reflect the bad energy back.
Nice.
So after I met this artist, I started to like mirror. I
Right.
used to think mirror is kind of superficial, that you
Right.
have a mirror at your home and then you always looking in yourself. I think he was superficial.
Right.
And then I decided to buy a big mirror from IKEA.
Yeah.
It turned out the mirror was too big for my home,
Right.
but he makes everything so fun. Now I just cannot stop looking at myself eating. I think it's fun if I just put it in the park, that people can see themselves in the park and see themselves with the tree, see themselves with the lake, with the beach.
Yeah.
So they can see themselves in the environment. Again, they can stop and then think about their problems.
It sounds like that scene from Harry Potter, right? Where Harry looks at the
Oh,
mirror, he sees his parents, his
Yeah.
mom and dad.
What his heart really desires.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a magic mirror which shows you what you truly want.
Yeah. It sounds
oh.
like
Yeah.
what have been your favorite moments that you came across? Are you nearby? I know I think maybe for the other idea where you put the question and the stall, maybe you walk away from that place and you're not around that place to see what people are writing. But for the mirror idea, do you stick around to see what people would do in front of the mirror?
No, I don't. Maybe I'm too shy. Probably
Okay.
I'm not sure if I should stay, because I think if it's an anonymous project that people can
Yeah.
stay for half an hour or 15 minutes. I wish I can interact with people, but I don't know how, because I think it's kind of intimate. So I
Right.
haven't found a way to interact with people yet.
Okay.
I feel like
Got.
I'm breaking into the moment
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I don't know how to interact with them yet.
Yuliku, is this I mean, I'm sure, is this what you do full time, or do you like somewhere
No,
else this
no,
week?
no, no. I don't think it's uh that easy to be an artist in Toronto, just because rent is expensive, food expensive, transportation is expensive. So everyone is working, but it's just whenever I have time, I will do that, especially in the summer.
Tell us
And
about tell us a little about yourself. Where do you come from? And apart from doing something so interesting and probably making such a huge impact, unknowingly or knowingly, what do
yes,
you do otherwise in your day-to-day life?
I work in a restaurant.
Okay.
The reason I choose to work in a restaurant is because I'm not sure what's my passion in my career yet.
Right.
In finance wise, I do know what's my passion in life. My passion in life is about reading books about sociology, archaeology, about culture, but I don't know what's my passion in my career. So I work in a restaurant because I'm more flexible. If I don't want to work too much, I can take some shift off. If I want to have more income, I can work more shift. I feel that's a certain flexibility.
Right.
My hobby is to learn language. Right now, I'm focused on Russian. So I'm 30 years old, and I came to Canada when I graduated from high school. I was
Okay.
born and raised in south of China. It's a
Okay.
city called Shenzhen. It's a
Okay.
coastal city.
Do you know the place?
Yeah, I do know the place. Yeah.
Wow.
I was actually thinking, I don't know if you already had this thought, Yuliku, that when you were telling us that you're still trying to find out what your true passion is, do you think you will put out a question like that in one of your stalls where you ask, what do you do currently and what would you do otherwise?
I want to remember. Let me write it down so I remember.
Like, we all do our jobs, like you
That
mentioned, because money, right?
exactly, as
Yeah,
Yuliku was saying, and I love those things too. I want to read, I want to learn culture, I want to meet new people, but unfortunately, we cannot get paid for that.
right. Yeah,
And, we got to pay the bills. And
yeah,
so that's why we choose careers that are very different from what we're truly passionate about,
right.
just because the money factor is attached to it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. What's your question again? What do
So
you do?
I was wondering, next time you put a stall, you can put two questions, not one. The first question will be,
What do
what do
you
you
do
do
for work?
currently, or what do you do for work? And what would you do otherwise if not that? Like I
Okay.
am I'm an IT guy. I come from a computer science background, so I'm an associate consultant. But apart from that, I do podcast with my wife, right? So uh,
Oh, that's
people
very
people
good.
people have passions and side hustles that they want to do apart from their 9 to 5 jobs, right? So I thought of a question in terms of that. Hopefully we'll see that in one of your stalls, and I'll look up on your social media someday.
Yes, I will do that next week.
Yeah,
Let's do
yeah,
that next week.
perfect.
Yuliko, I have a question for you. So, have you seen um, anyone come back to your Instagram and then identify themselves writing one of your posts? Like, has that ever happened? Because we know social media plays such a huge role, right, in connecting people, like artists, to their audience. So, has that ever happened with you?
I think because they are related to really secret thoughts or story, I think they will just smile when they see it, but they wouldn't say anything, or they wouldn't want to make people notice that they wrote it.
On like she was saying, on social media, people don't really get the opportunity maybe to answer to your question that you put at the site, right? Because on social media you'll know who the person is and everything. So has has the work that you've been doing made an impact on the followers that you have, when they look at the photo that you put?
This social media, I only make it for this project. So
Right.
everyone who's following this Instagram is not originally my friend, but because they saw the account on the table.
Yeah.
So I don't have any follower on this account that's not knowing this table. So everybody in this social media has already written a notes.
We hope this account reaches a larger audience because you're making a really good impact. And do you also remember the number of languages, different languages apart from English, that people have written in those little notes?
I think there's Hindi, there's Polish language.
Yep.
There's Persian and some kind of Arabic. Spanish, I think I got lots of Spanish and French.
Have you? I'm sure you do. You know all these languages? I'm sure you don't. You don't know some of these languages. Have you tried to, I don't know, Google Translate? Use the app to Google Translate and stuff.
I have like 2,000 friends in Toronto because I had lots of people project. So I have another Instagram account. Usually I just post in the Instagram and people answer me in 3 minutes.
Yeah. So people have been acting as your Google translator and like telling you what it means.
Yeah. Where do you see this going? The work that you do. What goals do you have next? Are you doing something? Are you going to continue to do something similar, to these, like putting questions or taking those mirrors out there? Anything new that is on your mind that is coming up?
I'm just thinking to change the question a little bit. And I think the point is just for people to think about the question, or they just see something random popping up in a normal routine. It's like a calling. They ask them to think about something, and that's it. But it's probably difficult to do in the winter. So it's difficult to put notes because it's very windy, and then you will blow everything away.
The most important part of this project, or Yuliku stalls, are for people to just stop in the middle of the day and think about something very personal, or something that they've avoided feeling for a while, right?
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that, Yuliku, about reflection? How important that is to reflect every day. And in today's world, we don't get that time, to sit down because of the jobs that we have, or taking care of family, and
everybody's in a rush. They just
go
to sleep, and then they woke up, and then the entire week just fly through.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? How important is it to reflect and, question? Because in one of your posts, I think you mentioned about, what is that one question you have been avoiding to ask yourself? That is a very interesting question. And I was thinking, for me, that would be, why am I not, trying to find another, job, another high paying, salary job? Or why am I not trying to, get serious into fitness? What are your thoughts about, self-reflection and, asking yourself those, very, important questions that will perhaps change you once you ask that yourself, right?
Yes. I think that question is from a perspective that what are you not seeing?
Yeah.
But this question is very difficult to ask because how can you see something that you are not seeing?
Right.
But I like the idea that what is something that you are not seeing. So maybe it's something you avoid or something that you ignore.
Yeah, it can be bad habits, right? Having those bad habits, and just looking at yourself in the mirror, will help you, notice them. Once you notice them, then that is the first step towards, creating that change, right? You notice, you question yourself, and then you act on it. You take an action, and hopefully, you convert that negative thing in yourself into a positive thing, right? Yeah.
I don't know what that is yet. but maybe you can tell me, or maybe people can tell me with different perspective. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't know what's the angle yet.
But we just want to thank you for your social arts that you are investing so much effort and time into. And watching that sort of response from people is also so beautiful, and it definitely made a difference in our day. We hope to see more of these pop-ups and these stalls everywhere.
Yeah, and that's our hope. I and we wanted to have this conversation, and we wanted to bring your work to our audience and a larger audience out there, so that these questions are very important that you ask, and it's important that people reflect and look back at whatever they have done so far in their life, and that will help them move forward as well, right? So that being said, you ask questions to the world and the strangers out there. So we have one question to ask you, which is the backbone of our show.
And the word Sankalp, which is in our title, means your purpose or your determination in life. And today, Yuliku, we want to ask you, what is your Sankalp?
What is my purpose? Determination.
Yeah.
Oh, I think my passion is not about food. It's not about houses or expensive things, but I like to understand the culture. I like to understand why people do the things they do. Why do we live the way we live? This is one of my passion. And I also like to express myself, sometimes by changing the way I dress, or sometimes by writing, or by making videos, or by making arts. I think my passion for life is two. My first passion is to understand my surrounding, and then my second passion is to express myself.
We love that.
Yeah,
That's lovely.
that is beautiful, because even our own cultures, it is important to question it, right? You can't really follow them blindly, because you've been told that by your parents, or your friends do the same. That doesn't mean you continue doing that, right? It is important to question and understand why exactly certain things happen certain way, and why it should or it shouldn't be that way, right?
Yeah.
So questions are really important, and that's my biggest takeaway from interacting with you. Any word that starts with a W is very important in our life, right?
Yeah.
What, where, when, and why.
Why, what?
Yeah.
But we really want to thank you for your time, Yuliku. We really appreciate you taking the time for us for our episode today, and keep inspiring everyone with the work that you do.
I'm really thankful for both of you to reaching out and to show your kindness to the world and be so passionate.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you, Yuliku. Take care, and we will be in touch.
Good luck.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye bye.